All right, so I want to just make this video to pretty much talk about something that I've been seeing a lot of niggas go through nowadays. And 90, well, not even 99%, but 100% of the time when I see niggas going through this, these are people who I would say haven't completely mastered themselves yet, and they're focused on the wrong things. And this all has to do with bitches. And when I say bitches, I don't speak for the female. I don't generalize all female as bitches. I say bitches as in anytime you haven't mastered yourself, you're gonna attract bitches. Once you master yourself, you're gonna attract feminine divine energy. So since most niggas haven't mastered themselves, they attract bitches. So they think that there's something wrong with women, where in all actuality there's something wrong with them. Because at the end of the day, we're all going through this. At the end of the day, we're all spirits in human bodies, female or male. So just like what we go through, women go through it too. But they go through it different. Like when a man hasn't mastered themselves, then it's harder for them to attract a mate. When a woman doesn't master themselves, they can attract a mate in terms of the nigga probably got good dick and fucking got money or whatever, but it's always got to come with something, because the universe always shows you what you're lacking and what you need to work on to be able to manifest something greater. So this is why you see a lot of bitches, they may get their ass beat, or they may be in a relationship when the man cheats on them, or they keep choosing the wrong man. But that's because they're attracted to the wrong man, because they haven't mastered themselves. Same with the men. They haven't mastered themselves, so therefore they can't attract a mate, or they're attracted to the wrong female, and they think that they love this female, but in all actuality, you don't love the bitch. You just have lust. Because if you can't truly say you care about somebody, you want to be with somebody, if you haven't mastered yourselves. Anytime you have a feeling that you want to be with somebody and you haven't mastered yourself, that's just lust. You just want to fuck the bitch brains out and toss her to the curb. You don't know that because you haven't fucked the bitch yet. Once you fuck the bitch a few times, you notice her attitude and she ain't shit, you're gonna be like, fuck this bitch, I want to go somewhere else. But you don't notice that, so you don't think it's lust. You think it's caring. So now when you approach the bitch, on your mind, since you haven't mastered yourself and you don't love yourself, how can you love somebody else? So therefore, once you go up to this bitch and start talking and communicating, you're like, oh, why is she acting like this? I'm trying to do. But in all actuality, you need to love yourself and master yourself before you move on to that. Just like with the female. If the bitch don't master herself, then, because women got a little different. They can attract a mate still if they haven't mastered themselves, but there's a catch. She's gonna attract a dude who probably cheats on her all the time, probably fucking beats the shit out of her, or the main thing, which mostly happens, is doesn't emotionally love them or is not emotionally there. Because women, they care more about the emotions and love and what a man can provide more than sex, whereas a man is more preferable to that. Not saying that that's always the case. So each gender has its things. This is why you'll see a lot of, because usually this is how I go. When I'm out in public and I see an attractive female and she's single and she don't have no man, I stay far the fuck away from the bitch. If we about to fuck or some little one night stand shit, then I'm all in it. But even then, I'm getting to the point where I don't even want to merge my energies with some demonic. But that's how I see it, because like I actually question and scratch my head when I see, because at the end of the day, like I know I'm right now, I'm not trying to fuck with no, because most bitches out here, they're not nothing. The only thing most of these bitches are good for is one thing, and that's it. And since I'm not trying to sink to that low vibration like I was years ago, I don't even fuck with these bitches right now, because I know they're not on my fucking level. And if I'm just trying to get that one thing, then I'll fuck with them. But right now, since I know there's certain things I need to handle in my life, I don't even fuck with these bitches like that. So when I see an attractive female and she's single, I stay far the hell away from them, unless I'm trying to hit that or whatever. But like I said, nowadays, I'm not even trying to do that, because a lot of these bitches, they got a lot of negative energy. So what I'm trying to tell you guys in this video is master yourself, and then you will attract a mate. Like I remember back in 2019 when I started my journey, I remember this girl I met. She didn't even eat. she was a straight breatharian, but she didn't call herself breatharian. She's just like, oh, I don't eat. I just never really like food. And me back then, I wasn't really, that was the universe putting somebody in my life. But me and the girl, we talked and everything and shit. But I kind of like didn't take it serious. And I kind of like didn't, I pretty much disrespected that blessing. So now it's like, she left and she was like, whatever. And because we had arguments, and it was all because I was just not, it wasn't her fault really. I was on some bullshit back then because I was lost in my ego and I was going through a lot of shit. So I didn't see it because I was blind. So now looking back, I regret certain things because that was a potential good mate that I could have built something with. So now I'm extremely picky with the bitches. If I see, I don't like to get to this point because at this point, because you don't want to, because at this point, I got so mad that when I figured out that was a blessing I turned down, I got so mad. I was like, any bitch that eats, I can't be in a relationship with. I can fuck them, but I can't be in a relationship. And I'm kind of still on that fucking level. Like, if a bitch eats, I don't even know if I would even want to, don't get wrong, we can fucking do whatever, but I don't even know if I can be with you because, and then the girl that I had before was like perfect. And it's like, there was no arguments. Everything was perfect. And it's like, ever since then, it's like, I don't even want to be with no bitch that's regular now. Like, I'm so angry. So like, I'll fuck you, bitch, but I can't be with you because I've experienced what a good relationship was. And I didn't take it because I didn't have the awareness as I did now, because this was back in 2019, 2020. So it's like, when I look back, I'm like, damn. So now I'm not, like I said, I'm not closing myself from everyone, but now it's like I look at things differently. So I'm extremely picky. So when I'm out in public and I see these bitches out here, it's easier for me to not really give a fuck about them at all, because I know I can get better than that. So I'm worried about mastering myself because I experienced that it's possible for spirit to bring somebody perfect in me. I've had that experience. So I'm very choosy on my shit. But if we about to fuck or some shit, then that's good, depending on the situation. Because the bitch is very negative, I don't even want to merge my energy. But like I said, like, I'm extremely picky on the energy, and it kind of, even to this day, I kind of think about it. I get kind of angry and upset, like, damn, that was a good mate, and I could have built something, and I shouldn't have done this and that. But like I said, I don't want to get into that story because it's a very deep story, and by her being in my life at that point made me realize I should have been on this path all the way back in 2020. And I wasn't on the path because I didn't believe that I was supposed to be breatharian until the beginning of 23. In January, when I made videos, I don't know, I think it's still on my channel. I didn't private them. And I was like, I'm trying to be a breatharian. It was like, I had like wad of money. I had like $3,000 or $2,000 in money, and I was flashing, and I was like, I'm about to be a breatharian. Fuck you niggas. This is back in January where I made the video. I was thinking like, back in that time, that's when I realized I was supposed to be a breatharian. But all before that time, I just thought I was supposed to be living some little bullshit intermittent fasting life, or maybe sometimes fast and eat, or I didn't think I was supposed to do, because I was like, this is too much. It's too much of a feat. But as I kept going, for me, as life kept going, I kept seeing people become dumber. I kept seeing things let me down. So at that point, which is the beginning of this year, right around the time Saturn went to Pisces, I was like, you know what? Fuck this shit. Maybe I am supposed to do this because everyone around me is getting worse. And when I go and I see these other communities out here doing their thing of what they're supposed to be doing, they're getting better. And I'm like, okay, maybe I was supposed to do this thing, even though it was hard, because life is supposed to be hard at times. It's not supposed to always be easy. But I thought it was supposed to be easy. So I was like, oh, there's no way I could be a breatharian because that's too much. And the programming was so, it's like, once I realized this is what I was supposed to be, then that's what really was like, okay, I have to be very picky and choosy on who I'm with, because I can't just be. So it was like, I'm low key at a point where if a bitch eats, that's off dibs for me to be in a relationship, kind of. And I'm not saying that a completely, like, if something shows itself more and the spirit aligns it where I can overwrite that, then I will overwrite that. But at this point, I'm like, it is what it is. And then when I go out here and I see like a lot of these, because I was watching Jay Vast's video and he said, something about bitches and how they were non-communicative and shit. And I was like, all of that has to do with you not mastering yourself, because once you master yourself, you can't attract stupid bitches like that anymore, or to a small magnitude. Because people like to say women are emotional. And when people say women are emotional, people like to attribute that to anger and being upset and always having that bipolar period attitude. But I look at it like, if you've mastered yourself, an emotional woman should be happy most of the time, because emotion is giddy and smiley, and that's emotion. And I notice when I see women in a higher frequency that I fuck with, even a girl back in the 2020, it was always like happy, giddy emotion, positive emotion, not this bitch period shit that they want to say, oh, it's the period, that's why they go. That's not what it is. Like, that's what I'm saying. That's not what it is. That's because a lot of motherfuckers haven't mastered themselves, so therefore they attract a lot of these bitches out here. That's why I said in my previous video, I feel a lot of men are the reason why women are the way they are. It's not because of women, really, because I noticed certain women will have certain attitudes, and these bitches that will have certain attitudes, the men that they go with will treat them like shit. I noticed that. Or even if and then you may say, what about the women who the men treats them good, but then the women treats them like shit? It's still a shit relationship, because from the bitch's perspective, she sees the man as he ain't shit, even though he may be shit. So technically, from her point of view, it's still not the perfect partner. So like I said, you can't ever escape it. You have to master yourself, or you're gonna attract, and this goes for women too. It's not just for men. So like, you gotta really understand that.